Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday to you. Happy Tuesday, everyone. I'm live on Facebook and on Instagram. I'm very excited to be here. Today, we're going to be talking about marriage-based green card interview. I hope you guys are doing well. It's, of course, going to be a very quick live video. So join in, hop in, share the video with your family and friends. Very, very excited to be here with you. Drop me a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. I'm recording from Manassas, Virginia. And so today we're going to be discussing marriage-based green card interview. Okay. And guys, if you haven't watched my latest YouTube video discussing who qualifies to have their case taken out of immigration court, please make sure you search AK Poku Law on YouTube and watch the video, share with your family and friends. As I've told you guys numerous times, immigration problems, they're very private. It's like somebody's, very, very private matter. So people don't usually discuss it, and you will normally not know that someone is undocumented until you even sometimes you're very close to them, but you'll never know. So just share with your friends and families who are in the US. Don't assume they have, documents, because they may likely be undocumented. Okay, so I see people watching from Ghana. Okay, awesome. So let's start with some marriage-based interview questions. We're going to be discussing these questions in this video. So when you file a marriage-based green card application, it means that you have your spouse is a US citizen or your spouse is a green card holder and they're filing for you. Okay. And so as part of the process, when you get to the USCIS field office or the US embassy or consulate you're applying for, they are going to be asking you certain questions to make sure that the marriage is real and the marriage was not entered into just to obtain a green card or to evade immigration laws of the US. Okay, so we're going to be talking about a few of these questions so that you can get ready for that interview, or you can save this video for when you're preparing for your interview. Now we'll start with some of the basics, the fundamentals. How did you guys meet? Don't expect that this question is going away anytime soon. If you say you're married, right from the beginning of the journey, right from, once you guys file the application, they'll ask you, how did you guys get married? If your marriage is under 2 years, you're going to be asked that question at the very beginning. 90 days before your green card expires, you are going to be you're going to be asked about to actually remove the conditions of your green card, and you'll be asked that question again. And then when you go for citizenship, normally 3 years after you've obtained your first green card, you're going to be asked this question again if you're still married to the US citizen who gave you your first conditional green card. So this question, fundamental, how did you guys meet? If you truly are a married couple, you should tell us how you met, and the story should add up. Okay, the story should add up. Both you and your husband should, have the same story. Somebody shouldn't be saying, oh, we met on Facebook, and somebody saying we met at a party. Which is which? Get your story together, because sometimes, honestly, people forget, like, okay, maybe we met on Facebook, but then we also met in person at a party. Okay, so you can explain these things. Make sure you are consensus at it, and you have meeting of the minds on how you guys met. That's the first question. How did you guys meet? Okay. Then another good question is, what is your current address? You'll have people who go for marriage-based interview. They're sitting in front of an officer who doesn't know them, a stranger, and the stranger is supposed to believe it's a real marriage, and one person doesn't even know the address they're supposed to be living at. That's a major red flag. Not good at all. You should know where you live. You should know where you live. You should know if it's a rent mortgage you guys are paying, if it's an apartment complex, if it's a townhouse, the type of structure you live in. That's where you're supposed to be living, right? So you should know, you should have all these details about where you live. Okay, so that's the second question. Now, who lives at your address with you? So if one of you has a child from a previous marriage, or you have children together, or maybe a grandma is living with you, you guys should be able to tell, oh, we have 4 living in that house. If You don't know who, your husband is saying, oh, we're three, and the wife is saying, oh, we're just two. That's a problem. Okay, so in the first marriage-based green card interview, you're going to be questioned together. Normally, that's the first, your first chance to create an impression that it's a real marriage. So when they ask the question, sometimes both of you will try to answer. It should be consistent. When you progress to the second stage, that's not good. That's the marriage fraud. That's a fraud, the Stokes interview, or the marriage fraud interview. And that's where you're going to be separated and then drilled on a bunch of questions. And then you all should have all these questions. You should have very consistent answers, or at least the answers shouldn't be too divergent. Okay. So yes, I've previously mentioned this before. What is your cell phone number? You see, both of you should know what each other's cell phones numbers are. If you're a married couple, know it. Don't say, oh, I don't remember these things. It's for an interview. So make sure you learn what your husband's phone number is, they learn yours, and then you know that. And then what is your spouse's date of birth? Very fundamental question. You should know your date of birth. You should know the date on which you both got married. What are the dates of the birth dates of your anniversaries? Um your birthday, his birthday. You should know these things, when you got married, and then other very remarkable dates. Okay, maybe when you met as well. Okay, now let me see. What type of work does your spouse do? That's also very fundamental, because I've seen RFEs where people, they question them. One person said his wife was taught in a daycare. The other person said, I'm sorry that got disconnected. These calls coming through. So one person said his wife worked in a daycare, and then the wife said no, she works in a store. That's not good enough. If you're truly married, if your husband is a storekeeper, you should know that your husband sells in a store. If your wife is a daycare assistant, you should know this. If your wife works in a hospital and you're saying your wife is a cleaner at McDonald's, that's a big red flag. Okay. So you should know the type of work your spouse does and where they're currently working. That's very, very important. And then what's your spouse's work schedule? So if you're living together, you should know if your spouse wakes up at 8 a.m. to go to work, or he goes for the evening shift at 9 p.m. All these things, make sure you practice, 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 and prepare. What type of cars do you both drive? You should know, of course, maybe not the car. Well, if you know the car number, that's good. But the type, the model of car, the color, these very basic things. If your husband is driving a black Jeep and you say, oh, he drives a Nissan Sentra, which is pink, big problem. Okay, so these are things that you should both know. What type of cars both of you drive? Or if your spouse doesn't have a car, you say he doesn't have a car. Okay, then what is your spouse's salary? Of course, you may not remember that, oh, he's paid let's say 40,997.86 at the end of, it doesn't have to be the fine dollar, but at least if you have an idea that, oh, my spouse, I think he makes about $46,000 a year, and they check and your spouse makes let's say $10,000 a year, that's a big discrepancy. Okay, but if he makes about $48,000 and you say, oh, he makes roughly 47, 46 or something, then it's quite close. It's not too bad. Okay. Oh, this is a good one. How long did you guys date before you got married? You should know this as well. How long you guys, when did it all start? Sometimes there's a bit of the man might think that I was dating you from the time I kissed you, right? And the woman is like, no, I didn't accept, you hadn't proposed, I didn't accept the proposal. I was already in an entanglement. So I think I started dating you 5 months after you kissed me. So you need to again discuss and review all these things to make sure that you're on the same page about when you actually started dating. Can you guys hear my background music? This is my latest jam. I like it a lot. Can you guys hear it? I hope you guys can hear it. Okay, so what else? Let's talk a little bit about, so sometimes these are very fundamental things about your lifestyle, where you live, what work you do. You should also prepare things on your daily lives. Okay, daily life. Who wakes up first, for example? Who wakes up first? Who sleeps on what side of the bed? What do you eat for breakfast? If your husband likes to eat fufu or banku for breakfast, and you go and say, oh, he drinks tea for breakfast, that's a big discrepancy. Or if he's not a breakfast person and you say, no, he doesn't eat at all for breakfast, that's good, of course, if he really doesn't eat at all for breakfast. But if he eats for breakfast and he eats something as heavy as, oh, he enjoys pizza and soda for breakfast, and you say he doesn't eat at all, that's not good. So know what both of you eat for breakfast. um, um, what time do you usually arrive home from work? Somebody may be working a little bit out of state, and so they spend 2 hours on the road. So normally they're back home at 8 p.m. If you say, oh, my husband is back home at 5:15, that's a discrepancy. Some people may be working right in the neighborhood where they live. So within 10 minutes, they are closed and they're home from work. You should know all these things about your spouse, what time your spouse gets home from work. Okay, things like what color is your comforter? Of course, some of these questions are quite unreasonable because sometimes you have lots of comforters you rotate. So if that's the answer, make sure you explain it to the interviewer that, oh, we have a bunch of comforters we rotate. If you don't remember, just say, I don't remember the color we're using currently. Nothing wrong with that. If you don't remember, don't force an answer. Say you do not remember. Okay. Alrighty. So, what kind of toothpaste do you use? Some people like to use Sensodyne. Some people like to use Colgate. So you have to know what type, because if you're sharing a bathroom, of course, not every married couple lives in the same bedroom or shares the same bathroom. If you do not share the same bathroom, let them know. But usually, as much as possible, if you're going to be going for a green card interview, you need to make sure you're co-mingling, you're sharing a bedroom and bathroom, just to make sure that you don't make the interviewer think, that's quite strange, and then deny you based on that. Okay. So be careful of all of that. Know what, the bath, how many, for example, how many bathrooms are even in your house, the home. That's also another segment of the question. The home, what type of home is it? How many bathrooms? How much are you paying for mortgage or rent? What's the color of your sofa? Where's the TV positioned? When did you last take down your Christmas tree for last Christmas? Or when did you put it up? When do you normally put it up? Those are for people that go for interviews maybe around February or even in March or something like that. Okay. So the home, do you use the front, side, or back door? Do you leave light on when you leave the house? That certain things that are very peculiar to certain couples and certain homes. So know all these nuances, these differences. Where do guests sleep in your house? So talk about cooking. That's a segment of questions. Talk about nighttime routines. Discuss these things. Cooking. Who does the cooking? How often do you guys eat out? Okay, some couples eat out every Friday. That's pizza night, or maybe once a month there's a date night at an all you can eat. So know all these things so that you can answer these questions very well. So let's talk a little bit more about nighttime routine. Does your spouse read, or watch TV before bed? What do they like to watch? Or do they watch it in the sofa, in the bedroom? What kind of PJs does your spouse wear? This is a little bit intimate, but I guess it's not too inappropriate because, okay, well, he likes to wear or she likes to wear sexy lingerie, or she likes to wear my t-shirts, my oversized t-shirts to bed, whatever. So discuss these things. So we've spoken about. Can you guys hear my music? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear my background music. I'm enjoying it in my office here. I just finished the consultation on prosecutorial discretion. So you guys watch that video I've shared on YouTube. Okie dokes. Yeah, with the cooking, who typically goes for grocery shopping? That's another good one. Where do you guys get your groceries? Because some people like Walmart, some people like Trader Joe's, some people like the African stores, some people like Harris Teeter, some people like Lidl. So you have to know where you get your groceries, your groceries from, where you do your grocery shopping. What is your spouse's favorite food? Maybe they like, wache, or they like noodles, spicy noodles. Okay, so these things are things you should know about your own spouse. Yeah, do you have a barbecue or grill? What's your favorite place to order pizza? Some people like Papa John's pizza. Some people like the local pizzas in their areas, or a Domino's or whatever. Know these things. Know these things. They're very mundane, but they go to demonstrate the bona fides of a marriage, because there are certain things that you can only know once you live with someone and truly share a life with them. Okay, that is not to say that you need to be living with your spouse before you can be approved. There are certain instances where people don't live together, but they can get approved. You will need tons of bona fides for that purpose. You need to make sure you have lots of bona fides to show that even though we don't live together, we're still really married, because we don't live together because of certain things that are happening. I'm in school here, he's at work there, he's on, he's a travel nurse, or she's a travel nurse, or there's something we're doing. That's why we don't live together at the moment. Okay, so guys, drop me your questions if you have questions or concerns, and I will answer them. Alrighty, well, there are no questions. I don't see questions both on Instagram. I don't see questions on Facebook as well. Well, thank you guys, ladies, for joining this live today. I will see you in the next video. Take care. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and bye-bye.